The ruins of Ryloth hummed with a dark energy. Inside, Arka and Kira found themselves locked in a fierce battle. Arka, who recently returned from a mission, was the shield. Beside him, Kira was the sword, attacking swiftly and gracefully. Their opponent was a formidable apprentice, a young man with eyes burning with malice, his red lightsaber a crimson blur of motion. The fight was a symphony of clashing blades and the crackle of energy. The apprentice was powerful, his attacks relentless. He focused his assault on Kira, driving her back step by step. Arka tried to intervene, but the apprentice was too fast, too aggressive. With a sudden, violent gesture, the apprentice thrust his hand forward. A wave of invisible force slammed into Kira, sending her flying through the air. She hit a crumbling stone wall with a sickening thud and crumpled to the ground, unconscious. Kira Arka cried out, his focus shattered. The apprentice seized the opportunity, pressing his attack. Arka, distracted and panicked, was quickly overwhelmed. Just as the red blade swung towards him for a final blow, a flash of blue light intervened. Gale intercepted the attack and engaged the apprentice, her movements fluid and precise, giving Arka a precious moment to breathe. Seeing he was now outnumbered and had lost the element of surprise, the apprentice retreated. With another powerful use of the Force, he caused the ancient stonework of the ruins' entrance to collapse, sealing Arka Gale and the unconscious Kira inside. The sound of shifting rock echoed through the chamber, followed by an unnerving silence. Arka rushed to Kira's side, his heart pounding in his chest. Kira, wake up. Please wake up, he begged. Her face was pale, and for a terrifying moment, she didn't respond. He could feel his hope dwindling. Then her eyelids fluttered. She groaned, her hand going to her head. Arka, what? What happened? She asked, her voice weak and dizzy. Relief washed over Arka so intensely it almost brought him to his knees. You're okay, he whispered. You're okay. He closed his eyes, reached out with the Force, and focused all his energy on the mountain of debris. The stones began to tremble. Slowly, painstakingly, he lifted the rubble, clearing a path to the outside. Once free, Gale helped him carry Kira to their ship. They raced to the nearest medical facility, every second feeling like an eternity. Later, in the sterile white corridor of the medbay, a Republic officer delivered the bad news. The apprentice had escaped. But they had also learned something chilling. He had been collecting the lightsabers of the Jedi he defeated. A grim trophy hunter of the Force. Meanwhile, in a shadowy chamber far away, the apprentice presented his trophies to a figure who looked eerily familiar. Arcadia looked at the collection of lightsabers, then at the apprentice. I am pleased, he said, his voice a low hum. The apprentice gloated about how easy Arka was bested. Arcadia replied coldly, Arka is stronger than you think. The apprentice simply nodded, his expression unreadable. Back at the medical facility, Arka sat by Kira's bedside, watching her rest. Gale joined him, her presence a quiet comfort. Seeking to distract himself from his worry, Arca asked, "I've never asked about your past, Gale. Where did you come from?" Gale's gaze became distant. "My father was a Jedi," she began. "An exile, he left the Order. I met Kira when we were children, but sadly it did not last forever. My father was being hunted, so I grew up on the run, always looking over my shoulder." The weight of her words hung in the air. Their shared history of loss and survival forged an unspoken bond between them. Just then, Kira stirred. Her eyes opened, and a weak smile touched her lips when she saw them. The relief in the room was palpable. A few days later, with Kira on the mend, Gale turned to Arca with a glint in her eye. "When she's fully recovered, how about a friendly duel? A little practice to keep us sharp." Arca, needing the distraction, readily agreed. The day came, and they met in the training hall. Blue Blade met Green in a dazzling display of skill. Gale was an excellent duelist, her style both elegant and powerful. Arca fought well, but Gale's experience and unique style gave her the edge. With a final swift maneuver, she disarmed him. The training saber clattered to the floor. "Well fought," Gale said, offering a hand to help him up. From the sidelines, Kira applauded. That was amazing. She ran forward, wrapping Gale in a warm hug. Then she turned to Arca, pulled him close, and kissed him deeply. Arca, still catching his breath, was lost in the moment until an officer interrupted. "Night, Arca, you're needed in the command center." With a final glance at Kira, he hurried off. Left alone, Kira grinned at Gale. "My turn," she announced. Their own duel was a whirlwind of green and blue. Kira, with her twin blades, was a flurry of motion, but Gale's defense was impenetrable. Once again, Gale proved to be the superior duelist, gracefully winning the match. As they powered down their sabers, a man from a nearby group of pilots approached Kira, a charming smile on his face. That was impressive. "Perhaps you'd let me buy you a drink sometime." Kira gave him a polite but firm smile. "I appreciate the offer, but I'm not interested." The man looked like he might press his luck, but Gale stepped forward, crossing her arms. She didn't say a word, but her stare was enough to make the pilot stammer an apology and beat a hasty retreat. Once he was gone, Kira and Gale burst into laughter. "Thank you," Kira said, wiping a tear of mirth from her eye. "You have to admit, your timing is perfect." She looked at Gale, her expression turning competitive. "This isn't over, you know. I'm going to keep practicing, and someday soon, I demand a rematch." Gale smiled, a genuine, warm smile. "I'll be waiting."